Ainsley, I'll send it over to you.
Thanks, Griff. An FBI news alert. The FBI is disrupting an alleged plot targeting last weekend's UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House. Officials telling Fox a network of nearly 24 suspects has been identified with at least 5 people in custody. The alleged plan included explosive packed drones hitting buildings near the event, forcing a mass evacuation and steering crowds toward a pre-staged sniper team. A second wave was then planned to storm the White House gate. The FBI first learned of the threat last Wednesday and then worked with law enforcement across multiple states to stop it. Fox News contributor and George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley joins us now. Jonathan, we're learning about this after the fact. We know that the fight went off without any problems. Thank the good Lord. They uncovered this on Signal chats. What's your reaction?
Well, Ainsley, this is really a cautionary tale. The fact is that the government is not the only party preparing for the July 4th celebrations. There are terrorist organizations that are drawn to the same events. If you are in the business of creating terror, there's no greater inducement than these types of celebrations, including the one at the White House. What is really chilling about this is the level of preparation and planning. This was not just some type of improvised device or a sniper. This was a well set out pattern of events to maximize casualties. And we have to keep in mind that under the Biden administration, millions of unvetted people were released into this country. It would be a very dangerous delusion to believe that these terrorist organizations and countries did not use that open border to bring people inside.
Well, I'm reading a little bit more, too, Jonathan. This is crazy. It says the one alleged suspect told investigators the goal was to target capitalist elites, billionaires, politicians who received donations from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. The investigation stretched at least 12 FBI field offices. Thanks to all those FBI agents who thwarted this so that nobody was injured and our president was safe. All right, let's talk about Luigi Mangione. Today he will be in New York State Court for a status hearing. What does this mean?
You know, we're going to see a bit about the schedule that will be laid out for his trial. But what we're really looking for now are indications on his defense. He lost a major motion in allowing the gun, his writings to get into the trial. He doesn't have anything on the table to use as a defense except for a potential mental capacity defense, the traditional insanity defense. In New York, they have something called extreme emotional disturbance, or an EED defense. Notably, one of his lawyers actually used that defense successfully in a criminal case. Now, the key about that is you can go for insanity, which is tough, and I just don't see it being successful here, or you can go for an ED, which would knock it down to a misdemeanor. That's what you really get from it. But what is most important is that if they make those types of defenses, they can bring in a lot of his dislike for the healthcare industry. This could be an effort to sort of play on the jury. The healthcare industry is not real popular, and it would allow them to talk more about his grievances from his own involvement with that industry.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. The healthcare industry, not really popular, and we live in New York City. This will be tried in New York City. Trial scheduled for September 8th. Given support of Mangione, can you find an unbiased jury in Manhattan?
You know, Anthony, this is always a problem with a high-profile case. Many of us have been shocked, even though we've been covering criminal trials for decades, at the level of support for this individual. What is really chilling is that people are not questioning that he's guilty. They're celebrating that he's guilty. They're celebrating that he was an assassin. Does that mean you can't get a fair jury? No, you can. It just takes extra work by the court and by counsel. But this thing is so loaded with these undercurrents of emotion and anger that it's going to be a great challenge for the court and counsel.
I know. 42,000 donors have given to that crowdsourced defense fund. He's raised $1.5 million, Jonathan. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It is.
Thank you, Ansley.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Questions about Donald Trump's age and health are once again becoming part of the political conversation. In recent months, critics have pointed to the several public appearances and comments by Trump that they believe raise concerns about his physical and mental condition. Some observers have noted moments where Trump appeared focused on legacy, how history will remember him, and the long-term impact of his presidency. Those comments have fueled renewed debate about whether age and health should play a larger role in evaluating politics leaders, especially as major decisions involving foreign policy and national security continues to dominate headlines, adding to the discussion are statements from former associates and critics who argue that Trump has changed significantly over the years. Some claim that his communication style, public behavior, and decision-making appear different from what they observed in previous decades. Supporters, however, reject those criticisms and point to Trump's active campaign schedule, public appearances, and continued influence within the Republican Party as evidence that he remains fully capable of leading. The debate highlights a broader issue facing American politics as leaders remain in public office later in life. Questions about age, fitness, and long-term health are becoming increasingly common topics of discussion. Whether voters view these concerns as significant or simply political attacks remains to be seen, but one thing is clear, discussions about Donald Trump's future, his legacy, and his ability to lead are likely to remain a major part of the political conversation moving forward.